Hi, friends. Good morning. It's a beautiful fall day here. It's not very cold. I'm standing out here in my nightgown, actually, and I'm watching the leaves fall. It's just beautiful. But I wanted to come outside because I wanted to talk to you about something rather disturbing but fascinating. I'll just move my phone around while I talk to you a bit. Last night, it was around 10 o'clock, and I was getting really tired, but if you are from the Massachusetts area of the continental United States, you may have heard about a murder that took place in Gardner, Massachusetts, which isn't very far from us. It's about 20 minutes. And a husband murdered his wife. At least that is the warrant that's out. And then left at about 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:50, I think, to be exact. Fled the scene. They had 4 children. And the children went across the street to tell the neighbors that they heard their mother crying and they couldn't find their dad, at which point the neighbor called 911. And so there's been a full-blown investigation for about, I would say, over 2 weeks now. They found his vehicle in a wooded park called Collier. They found his car in a heavily wooded area about 1,500 feet in, abandoned. And he has not been found. Every day I go and I check to see what the news is, and there hasn't been really any news for the last 4 or 5 days. The last thing that the police and investigators did was they brought in a dive team to check the lake near this camp, and then they brought canines in, and it's about 400 acres. And the canines did not find, they were cadaver canines, especially looking for decomposing bodies. They didn't find anything. So, I'm saying to myself, well, I use my pendulum a lot for my own purposes. So about 10 o'clock last night, I decided that I was going to use my pendulum and ask my pendulum some questions. This is my pendulum, and this is my go-to pendulum. I've been using this for years, and I have a special way that I use it where I am not dictating at all with my arm or my hand the movement of this pendulum. So I asked the pendulum a bunch of questions. The first question was, is this husband still alive? And I really don't want to say his name. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And I asked if he was still alive. And the pendulum said yes. Now, pendulums are not always 100% correct, but the pendulum said yes. Okay. Is he still hiding out in Massachusetts? The pendulum said no. Is he somewhere in New Hampshire? The pendulum said yes. Then I asked the pendulum if this individual was hiding out in an abandoned hut, camp, house, vacation home, and the pendulum said no. Then I asked if individual was prepared to be in the woods in the dipping cold temperature as we're approaching, November here, Thanksgiving. And my pendulum said yes. So I moved, area-wise through where I live into the Richmond, New Hampshire area, which if you go through Winchendon, Massachusetts to New Hampshire and bang a left, you can easily get to the Richmond, New Hampshire area. And I got a yes. Now, there are so many woods in that area. There is also a lot of woods in Fitzwilliam going out towards the lake over there. And then I fell asleep because that's pretty typical. I fell asleep in my chair, and when I woke up, my husband woke me up. I stood up and tidied up my area, made him lunch for today, and picked up, noticed that my pendulum had fallen off my lap onto the floor, and I put it in a little tray that I have next to where I sit. And I just went to grab my pendulum this morning to use it for myself, for something, spiritual that I needed to ask my pendulum for. And this is what I found. I don't think you can see it, but up by my fingers, there's a knot. There's a knot right here in my pendulum. When I was using this pendulum, there was no knot at all. Now, it's possible that it could have flipped over off my lap and it could have created a knot when it fell to the floor, or even when I grabbed it. But that's highly unlikely. Look at the top of this pendulum. There's a heart and there's angel wings. Hope you can see it here. So this knot that was created is highly unlikely that it happened when it fell off my lap. Listen, friends, this is really unusual. I have only had a situation like this happen several years ago, maybe 10 years ago, where a crystal was given to me that I made a pendulum out of, and the bow that was knotted on the pendulum untied on its own. So I want to touch base with you on this as a spiritual event. This knot is really close to the top where the angel wings are and the heart is. If I were to say, let's go 2 weeks. Well, let me lay it down. If I go 2 weeks from the heart and the wings, then another 2 weeks, that's 4. Then another 2 weeks, that's 6. Then another 2 weeks, that's 8. And then another 2 weeks down to the stone itself, that would be 10 weeks. So I don't know if this is a message for me that in 10 weeks, the investigators and the police are going to get a huge lead on this guy. Well, actually, I believe they're getting leads now. But he's going to stumble. He's going to stumble. So I just wanted to show you that this morning. Our porch is all packed up for the winter. I just found it very interesting. I'm going to go in now, and I am going to take this knot out. I don't know why my phone is not focusing. I just found out that the Google Pixels eliminated their autofocus on the front-facing camera. So I'm going to try to use my back-facing camera when I do videos. I did a test drive of that yesterday. But anyway, friends, I just had to come on. I know that this video is different than what I usually put up, but I'm fascinated. There we go. Ah, there's the knot. There's the knot. Now, I could go as far as saying that that knot at the 2 weeks, which is, where we are, they came to a dead end. But that it's not over. All right, friends, be well, be blessed, be beautiful, because you are, because there is nobody else on the planet like you. And I will see you in my next video. Keep your eyes open, be vigilant. It's a big country. But go check that out. All you have to do is Google it. What went on in Gardner, Massachusetts? Husband, potentially, allegedly, they have enough evidence now to put out a warrant for a husband that killed his wife and had 4 children. God be with those children. Angels be with those children. Thank you so much, friends. Have a beautiful day. Blessings. Bye-bye.